Everyone having a good show? I can't hear you. Everyone having a good show?
Yeah!
Strap in and get ready to feel the G's. So all weekend we've been saying, want an answer to this? Want an answer to that? Well, come to dinner. And here you are. Welcome to dinner. Now that we've cleansed your palate, let's move on to some of the exciting products we have coming your way in the fourth quarter 2012 and beyond. Oh yeah, make sure you get a picture of the cat. I looked really hard for this one. So we start off with the Hobbit HeroClix, an unexpected journey. Those of you who are familiar with our Lord of the Rings HeroClix product know that it's a hot property. This is going to be based on the upcoming movie coming out this year in December. It's very similar to our previous Lord of the Rings release, where it will be available as a standalone countertop display and a campaign starter. And for those of you who are not familiar with the campaign starter, it's slightly different from our standard starter in that we include 6 maps as opposed to the normal 2, and additional campaign rules for larger point games and battles for your players. So hopefully you've stopped by and heard us talk a lot about DC HeroClix Batman. This is going to be a huge release this year. Batman's always a great seller. It's going to make you guys a lot of money. Also, alongside with a great theme, we're introducing a new mechanic, vehicles, to HeroClix. This is something we've hinted at here and there over the years, over the last 10 years actually, and now we're finally in a position where we can deliver something fantastic to both you and your player communities. This will be available in November. It also kicks off our 6-month No Man's Land storyline OP, which you've probably heard me go on and on about ad nauseum this weekend. These are the vehicles that we feature in DC HeroClix Batman. Following up Batman, releasing in December, is DC HeroClix Streets of Gotham. This is a follow-up set to the Batman release. It also corresponds to No Man's Land months 3 and 4, and it's going to be very, very hot. And of course, DC HeroClix Batman No Man's Land. Again, this is going to be a 6-month organized play storyline series, very similar to 2012's Infinity Gauntlet series, which I understand some of you have enjoyed some measure of success with. Well, No Man's Land is going to blow it out of the water. The Batcave is the final grand prize for No Man's Land. The close-up on Alfred, if you look very closely, a little tray of first aid supplies. This actually has an in-game purpose. If you utilize the Alfred dial on the Batcave resource in your games, he can actually heal your figures when they come back to the Batcave.
That's pretty cool.
Psych. So, something that we're very excited about is our 2012 seasonal holiday promotional figures. We're not ready to reveal the plan for this yet, but stay tuned. It's coming very, very soon. This is going to be something that's going to help you move a lot of product, get your players excited about organized play and coming to your stores, and these figures will not be available any other way initially. We have Mephisto, White Lantern Batman, and our Holiday Elf figure. Also coming fourth quarter, we have expansions to award-winning board games, Star Trek, Warriors, and Mage Knight. First, with Star Trek Fleet Captains, we're happy to introduce the Romulans as a playable faction in the game. They're my favorite faction too. Romulans introduce a new espionage mission track to the existing mission tracks that you can select from when you play the game. They also introduce new Saboteur crew members that can actually play on opponents' ships and hopefully put a gum in their works. Quest of the Gladiator is the 3rd expansion for Warriors. It features many more dice, new creatures, new spells, and an all-new lock mechanism, which for those of you who are familiar with Warriors, allows you to keep your creatures out in play instead of scoring them in the hopes of stymieing your opponent's chances of winning glory for their empire. And finally, we have Mage Knight, the Lost Legion. This introduces a 5th Mage Knight character that you can play in-game, raising the total number of players to 5. It also introduces a new opponent that will actively work against you and or your opponents during the course of the game. And of course, there are new missions, spells, artifacts, and everything else that makes the Mage Knight board game a compelling experience for players. Next up, starting our 2013 offerings, we're proud to announce Pathfinder Battles Shattered Star. Pathfinder Battles Shattered Star is based on the compelling and exciting Shattered Star Adventure Path by Paizo Publishing. It features 54 figures. We're going to utilize a similar model to the Rise of the Runelords booster, where there will be 4 figures per booster, as well as a gargantuan blue dragon case incentive piece, very similar to what we did with the Rune Giant with Rise of the Runelords. And here are some of the figures from Shattered Star. Also coming in January, we're pleased to announce Lord of the Rings dice building game. Like Warriors, like Lord of the Rings, then Lord of the Rings dice building game is for you. We utilize the award-winning dice building engine that we pioneered with Warriors. We combine it with an award-winning IP to bring you Lord of the Rings dice building game. 97 custom dice, cards, characters compete against the Dark Lord to prevent him from taking over Middle-earth. Now, as probably the biggest Trek nerd in the office, I just want to pause here for a moment. Star Trek Tactics 2 is our follow-up to the very successful and exciting Star Trek Tactics earlier this year. We introduced several new factions like the Romulans, the Dominion, the Cardassians, the Vulcans, the Ferengi, and more to Star Trek Tactics. What you will see in this set, if you like the ships and the models you saw in Star Trek Tactics, you're going to love, love, love what you see in Tactics 2. There are some ships that have never before been represented in 3 dimensions officially, license approved, by any manufacturer. Next up is our Gotham City strategy board game. In this game, you assume the role of one of 4 iconic Batman villains as you fight for control and try to take over turf in Gotham City. However, if you accrue too much power too quickly, Batman will come out and knock you down a peg. This game also features the very first opportunity to play with HeroClix figures. HeroClix figures are simply figures that are able to be switched from one dial to another. So in the Batman strategy board game, we have the board game dial, and we have a HeroClix dial. And you literally physically remove the figure from one dial and place it on its next corresponding dial, depending on which game you want to play. And if I can just take a moment, we think that this is going to be big, big, big because of the HeroClix component to this. It's going to be very, very popular with HeroClix players initially, and it's going to enjoy a lovely, lovely tail end sales by the board game crowd. The board game itself is extremely compelling. The HeroClix dials are extremely effective, competitive for both casual play and otherwise, and fans are really going to enjoy it. Next up, in February 2013, we're proud to announce Marvel HeroClix Amazing Spider-Man. It's more than 45 figures in this set. We introduce a whole new element called Wild Dials. Wild Dials do not behave as normal HeroClix dials should or ought to. Wild Dials are represented by things like vampires and werewolves and monsters. Oh my! And they will definitely change the way that you play the game. I'm also, on a personal note, pleased to announce that Marvel Horror plays a strong sub-theme in this set. It's a sub-theme that we have not touched upon yet, so there are going to be lots and lots of new characters in this particular HeroClix expansion. March brings us Iron Man 3, based on what is going to be the next Marvel movie blockbuster. Can't talk much about it, but I can say that there will be a countertop display and 6-figure starter set associated with Iron Man 3. I heard some oohs. So,
We've been talking about a heretofore unrevealed April 2013 DC HeroClix release that'll be tied to No Man's Land months 5 and 6. DC HeroClix Teen Titans is that release. This will be offered in a 9-booster brick, similar to what we did with Giant Size X-Men and what we will be doing with Batman this fall. However, in the Super Booster, we're introducing something completely new called Team Dials. Team Dials are going to represent a whole new way to play the game, with several figures on one dial all working together against your opponent. They will have a standard combat dial representing their powers and abilities as they work together, and an additional dial that represents certain abilities that they only can use when certain characters are attached to the base. Here we have the new Teen Titans, as represented most famously by the Perez and Wolfman run. What's this? It looks like Titan's Tower in Kid Flash. Utilizing the switch clicks mechanic, you will be able to move your figures from single figure bases to the team base in game and perform different actions depending on how they're situated.
That's pretty cool.
Again, team bases will utilize up to 2 dials, one for the actual team and the powers that they're utilizing, and another dial for special powers and abilities that they can only utilize if certain members are on the team base. Represented here is a personal favorite of ours in the office, Wildstorm's Gen 13. And our next offering in summer of 2013 is Marvel HeroClix Wolverine and the X-Men.
Yes.
There's more than 60 figures in this set. We're also going to be introducing team dials to Marvel HeroClix with this release. And some of the teams that we're looking at are Excalibur, the classic Excalibur by Alan Davis, the Gold and Blue Strike teams from X-Men, the Hellfire Club, Brotherhood of Mutants, and so much more. Following up on that, and I gotta say, originally we weren't gonna talk about this, but Justin sort of spilled the beans earlier, so I had to insert this slide in. After No Man's Land, and corresponding with the release of Marvel HeroClix X-Men, the next storyline OP event will be Fear itself. We can't say much about this, but it's gonna be good. I've seen the grand prize for this event already, just in its most nascent stages. The sculpt is beautiful. If you thought Thanos and his shrine was impressive, if you thought the Batcave looked really cool, I gotta tell you that sculpt for this set is absolutely amazing. The detail on this figure is so phenomenal.
Good thing I'm video recording
It's the
this.
serpent, the Odin Allfather's brother, and his fully powered form. You can see teeth and scales. It's the most amazing thing. And I really can't wait until we can show that to you guys. As you can see, we have a very aggressive year. We've had a wonderful year this year. I hope that you all have enjoyed the same. And thank you very much for all of your support and all that you do to promote HeroClix, Warriors, and all the other great games out there in the industry. Thank you very much.